have something special to share. It's been like a minute. Many years have gone by, and I feel you people are now ready to get out of slavery. Our forefathers fought for our independence from the colonial masters, but now it's our generation's time to fight to get out of mental slavery, because when the white settlers left, they never trained leaders. They left slave masters to rule over us. But now, in every generation, there is a fight for every generation to get out of something. For us, is mental slavery. So, first of all, I'll ask you a question. Are you a slave? I think most of you don't think that they are slaves, but I'll prove to you that you are a slave. First of all, slavery has been there over the years, very many years since the inception of this earth and this world. In fact, the name world means system. In Greek is cosmos. It's a slave, or it's a system that enslaves you. So they have hid it so much that you can't tell, and have sold you a lie that you are free, because they know perception is as strong as reality. So what you think that you're free, no, you're not. You are a slave. They have made you perceive freedom, which is a lie. So there are many reasons for slavery, such as free labor and having power and control over those who are less privileged. It may be good or bad, but mainly it's for the balance of the economy and peace, whereby after all this, many are left in mental bondage, which will take many years, or others will take a lifetime to break. If you don't have someone who will get you out of it, you will forever be a slave. First things first, man was never created in bondage or to be a slave. He is a spirit and was born free. But after many years of this life, there are those who thought themselves to be superior than others. They are the ones who introduced slavery, whereby all they thought is to use other people to be for their advantage. This one is one of the causes and main reasons of slavery, whereby the system has become very complex, whereby it's now like the Matrix. If you've seen the movie of the Matrix, it's like an illusion. It's like you live in this realm and then your reality is in another realm. What you should know is that you live inside your mind. Your life is what is in your mind. Your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions. That's what composes of your life, whereby if you can be able to translate it into life, into physical, then that's manifestation of what is in you. That's why people who are depressed, they're not depressed from outside, it comes from inside. So knowing this is that when you know the truth about what is happening in you and around you, is not a problem. But coming to terms to change it, then it starts being a problem. And if you teach others, then you're in big trouble. Then let so be it. Let everyone know that whatever you are going through has consequences. Many are the chains, and many have many chains, not even one. First of all, how they have done it is to make you ignorance. Ignorance is the way to perish, whereby ignorance renders you vulnerable to manipulation. But many have come to know that ignorance is a weakness, so they have searched for information instead of truth. So they have led you to much information, but that information you can't take action because you don't have the self-will to do it. So you still remain in bondage. Being poor and you've defended, and acting as a victim of consequences, believing that someone else is responsible for your freedom, is some of the things that has been programmed in you. You believe it's your right to vote, or rather you have been told that it's your right to vote for a good leader so that you will have a brighter future. But you don't know that your future and your life is your responsibility. It's not the responsibility of people whom you elect. Know this, as much as it's your right to vote, it's also your right not to vote. But you can't understand this because it's vanity. The most powerful people on earth are the people who are silent, the introverts. These people rule the world. You will never see them. Even after every scandal and everything, you'll just hear an unknown person. Why? Why don't they say their names? Because they know if you say their names in public, you are dead. Things you should know is that you are born an eagle, but they have domesticated you as a hen. They have clipped off your feathers, you cannot fly. Now they are bringing new formulas for you to be a slave to your body and to your feelings instead of reality, truth, and intellect. If you are a male or a female, they tell you gender is an illusion. How is it what you can touch with your hand physically and you assume or you say it's not there and you can touch it physically? It's crazy. They have used words to enslave you because words are powerful. Words will either free you or enslave you. If today I bring an argument, you will use the program in you to either defend it or oppose it. Using what? Words. The government and religion are the same, but they operate in opposites. Both take taxes. One takes by law and the other one by free will. They know how to use words to make you do it. Am I saying that religion is bad? To some extent. You're supposed to be in faith and to follow your conscience and your intellect, but not the things that have been put there to manipulate you. One of the things that is there is that they both promise you a good future, but they don't want you to realize that it's your duty to change the present so you can have a brighter future. The matrix, or so-called the system, is a blockchain of control that has a complex systems within it, also known as the world or the cosmos, whereby you jump from one chain, you're into another and into another. It's hard for you to break out. Very, very hard. Anything that has a name system is a trap. There are things like the governing system, the schooling system, the corporate world or the corporate system, the political system. All these have lesser systems that train you. And what do? They start it early. That's why a college graduate thinks different from a school dropout, while professors think totally different because they have been set by the system. That's why many atheists are very learned, very, very learned. They do not have a consciousness of their soul, of their intellect. What governs them is what is in them. As it's the right for every child to basic education, it's the government's responsibility to cater for the needs of the child. Whereas parents will give a contribution because it's an ease to them to see their children succeed. Let me ask you a question. When your child becomes a doctor, Is it for you to have a doctor in your house, or is it the government who needs doctors? When your child becomes a soldier, are you the one who needs a soldier, or is it the government that needs soldiers? It's an ancient form of living. When the king used to go to war, he could take your sons and make them soldiers. Now, the soldiers that the government want are workers. It's the government's responsibility, and that's why they give you a schooling system. They employ teachers. It's their responsibility to educate your children. Am I saying that school is bad? No. But if you cannot use your mind to think, you are using a programmed mind, then you are not free. Why? We are not all equal. We have different talents. But academia, we have been forced to be equal, which has led to the breaking of the more talented and frustrating the less talented. Many who have their conscience intact, they leave school, they drop out, because they have already seen what they are and what they want to do in life. Imagine people who are talented maybe in soccer. If they became professors, they could have been frustrated in life because their talent is not used. The branches go beyond what you see, far beyond. It goes to even what you wear, the so-called fashion. First things you should know that the rich don't wear fashion. Why? The program of fashion has been there since you were in school. You wore uniforms, even though you are not equal. This all is for business, because you are to be seen and not to be heard. They have used race, tribe to divide us, so that they can keep on ruling us. Because if you come to unite, you will do far more beyond what they can even imagine. Anytime a majority or someone from the majority seems to break out, they are reminded to know their place, or they are taken out of the majority. Let me tell you something. If your eye is good, you can see beyond the system. Your body is full of light. But if your eye does not see, you're blind to the system, to the chains. Your body is full of darkness. But if the darkness you think is light, by the things you do, by going to vote and thinking you're changing your life, or you're making a brighter future, then you're deeply in darkness. I'll tell you a story of a slave and a free person. There was a man who was a slave working under a rich man. The rich man could give him basic needs like food and shelter. Whereas the other guy, who was poor but free, had nothing. He even slept outside. He was homeless. He had no food. He could live out for handouts and begging. The free man used to pity the slave, because he thought him being free was a good thing, whereas the slave man felt sorry for the free man because the free man had no life. This is the dilemma of our life society, the program that has been put there, because both of them are slaves. You're a slave to this corporate system, whereby you only pay for your bills. You can't even have life. Whereas the one who doesn't have even the food is languishing in poverty. The dilemma of Africa. We have the resources, but we don't have control over the resources. Imagine this. We live in handouts, aid, loans. Whereas Those who give us aids and loans and everything, it's a tenth of what they get from our resources. This too is vanity. What we are going to do is we first change our mindset, because wealth is created in the mind, whereas poverty is a mindset. The mindset that has been given to us through schools, through religion, through the belief of money being evil, through poverty, through that you can't be in power, that you are not powerful, through race, fashion, politics, drugs, our health systems. This all has done us to be crippled. Without diseases, our hospitals will not make it. Without crime, our security system will not stand. Without wars, the rich will not sell weapons. You don't know how deep this system is, guys. What you see in your televisions is just what they want you to see. They'll tell you this nation is fighting this nation. They'll tell you terrorists are doing this and that, whereas they are the ones who are funding the terrorists. Then how will you become free? By first of all knowing the truth, because the truth that you know will set you free. By knowing the truth, you can ask what is rightfully yours. Stop being ignorant. Start finding out the truth. People are taking advantage of you because you are ignorant, and ignorant is punishable, even by law. First things, embrace riches, because a rich person has broken more bonds. A rich person, it's hard to be enslaved. Don't think riches and wealth as evil. Know how to use them. Do not become a slave of them. Wealth is power, and we all have wealth. We all have wealth, be it in our minds or in the resources that we have at our disposal. They have separated the poor from the rich, because one thing they know is, as poverty is contagious, so is riches. Our fathers fought for our freedom of our nations from colonial masters. But what we were given in return is black colonial masters who operate under a secret agents, whereby they still report to the white man, and we thought that we were free and independent. No, we are not yet free. They sell a lie that power belongs to the people, but power has never belonged to the majority. It's an illusion that your vote is your voice. You think that the people you elect are in power and are in charge. No, they report to other people. People whom I've told you have never been seen in public. They own the resources, they own the lands. That's why people who enforce law are paid peanuts, so that they can be bought when necessary. I'm telling you these things so you can be aware that the ultimate freedom is death. For no one can be threatened by death if the person is dead. I'll also highlight that the clergy are also answerable to this, because they had been mandated with a message and keys whereby they carry a good information or message which has deliverance, which has the power to set the poor free, to set the captives free, which is a good news to the poor. As you and me know, the power to set someone free is so powerful. If the good news to the poor person, you and me know that is not going to heaven. A good news to the poor person is wealth, is riches. But now the clergy have mixed with the oppressors. It's like they have mixed a righteous sacrifice with the rituals of demons. A curse is on them. They have been led by greed. God forbid. Let them open their eyes and know where they are supposed to be and what they are supposed to do. It's time for them to repent. I'll tell you this and I'll tell you again that there comes a generation, and the generation is here, which will not be defiled by the chains of slavery or the systems that have been put there by the colonials or the people who have greed, by the corrupt and the selfish. This generation will change the form of power and write new laws. It will be the end of greed and land grabbing. Well, there will be no more owning of individuals of land. The land will be communal. No longer will we depend on our colonial masters, but we will depend on our resources. We will sell our resources at the prices that we want. We will build our nation with what and how we want. We will bring down all the evil and powers that have crippled our dark continent. I have lit my candle, and I want to share with you the light that I have. Bring your candle, let us share our light. Let us become bright, brighter than the sun. Let them know that we, the African continent, we rule the world. If we, the African people, will stay with our resources, the other continents will suffer and die. When they destroy the climate, they depend on us to revive the climate. Let them know that we know we are powerful. We are powerful, and we are not going to beg for anything and from anyone. The truth is, nobody is coming to set the black continent free. We will set ourselves free. Freedom is our disposal. Freedom is inevitable. Time and time again, we will be forever free, and we will rule the world as we used to rule it in thousands of years past. Thank you.